After a year of judging Pokemon trainers for their fashion choices, which I'm clearly qualified to do, now it's time to judge their life choices, even though I am a small YouTuber with an even smaller social life. Look, even I know that no matter how much lunch money you steal from kids in Pokemon battles, you gotta have something else keeping you afloat. So I looked into the personal lives of all the prominent Gen 1 trainers to figure out what they do outside of battling, because as with any competition, the Pokemon League creates more losers than winners, and glory is fleeting. Some trainers channel this momentum into a successful career, while others have no off-ramp and totally burn out. Speaking of, while we often jest that the player character has dropped out of school to become a Pokemon battling vagabond, it's more likely that these games take place over a summer vacation. That said, Red is actually a middle school dropout, as 3 or 4 years later he's training alone on a frigid mountain and doesn't even call his mom anymore. Even I'm not that much of a hermit. One fortuitous summer went to Red's head, annihilating his social life and his future. Congrats on foiling the Poke Mafia, but you did not stick the landing. It takes 20 years for his boyfriend to drag him back into society. Blue, on the other hand, becomes a gym leader. He finds his talent, learns the dangers of aiming too high, and lands a comfortable job that allows him to continue developing his passion. And developing his personality, too. Although a bully at first, after his loss against Red, he reevaluates himself, and as we see in Pokemon Masters, he becomes a renowned mentor. If we include Gary as an extension of this character, he's also on track to inherit his grandfather's legacy as a researcher. A little bit of nepotism never hurt anyone. The Oaks just keep on winning. Once a traveling trainer, Samuel Oak found that he preferred academics. Not only did he pioneer the field of modern Pokemon research, but this scholar also holds regular lectures and community events with children, surrounding himself with the joys of sharing knowledge, all while keeping in touch with various friends around the country and having a good relationship with his grandson. He's an inventor and a celebrity science communicator. Professor Oak is the whole package, folks. Bill is the collector and computer nerd who invented the Pokemon storage system. He collaborates with programmers from other regions and has bought himself a nice home on the Cerulean Cape. He's doing quite well. 2 different characters remark that Bill is lactose intolerant, which is just a weird thing to be so vocal about, but okay. He's doing great professionally, but mentally we may be seeing some red flags, because more importantly, he nearly lost it all running human Pokemon fusions on himself. Guess that's what happens when you want to keep your state alchemist funding, but you've run out of daughters. Let's hope that was just an accident, but I'm going to keep him at arm's length. Be careful around this one, he could go either way. Gym leader Brock's only personality traits are that he takes his shirt off and is rock hard. Not a bad start in my admittedly biased opinion, except that's not getting him anywhere because he's the only serious Pokemon trainer in Pewter. He does not smile, because the only action he gets is digging in the dirt with dorks. He's got a stable position at the Pewter gym, but he is not thriving in this city. If you're not making connections with people, Brock, are you really living? I'm not counting Anime Brock here because he is completely different. Anime Brock abandons his job and leaves his deadbeat dad to care for 9 kids, a very bad idea, until it leads to him hooking up with Kahuna Olivia, in which case the ends justify the means. Hey, I may be gay as a diamond-studded rainbow, but even I can see what's up. We all love Misty, but she's struggling to find love herself. She snaps at the player for interrupting a date, but judging from how eager he was to gun it at the first excuse, clearly there was no cloister left to jam. Misty does enjoy serving as a gym leader, and she loves living in Cerulean. If anime lore counts, she rakes in extra cash as a performer, but does not get along with fellow performers, her sisters. Similar to Brock, she has financial stability, but she's unraveling as an unfulfilling social life has left a hole in her heart. There are some holes that boys cannot fill, a lesson which neither she nor I will be internalizing, thank you very much. Lieutenant Surge was a commanding officer in the US Army and a pilot whose partnership with electric-type Pokemon has saved at least 2 lives. He has since moved to Japan and become a gym leader. The locks in his gym could be a sign of paranoia, but according to the fame checker, he's always been cautious. Not all combat veterans adjust well re-entering civilian life. In Pokemon training, Surge seems to have found a good outlet for his military skills. But when all of his dialogue revolves around war stories and being overly domineering toward children, I question whether he's actually adjusting successfully. Our 4th gym leader is also a reputable florist, monetizing her passions. She surrounds herself with things she enjoys, having cultivated a relaxing atmosphere. She's blossoming professionally, and although we don't know much about her personal life, there are no signs of friction either. For being so content and hydrated, In addition to serving as the gym leader of that place I wasn't sure if I was allowed to say as a kid, Koga also runs a dojo whose students admire him. He also works shifts as security at the Safari Zone and develops his skills enough to join the Elite Four. Through all of that, he even finds time for his family as his daughter Janine takes over the gym and speaks highly of him. He's a very traditional man and his Pokemon are icky, but I can't deny that Koga leads an active, successful, and well-balanced life. That's a top-tier ninja. Believe it. Sabrina is such a powerful gym leader that she demolished Saffron's old fighting gym, but despite her skill as a trainer, she apparently dislikes battling. What she's skilled at does not bring her joy. Her league career has brought only destruction. Realizing that her skills and passions are not compatible, she eventually throws it all away to move to New York City and pursue acting, what we all dream of doing if only we could shed this pesky sense of self-preservation. While Sabrina managed to land a prominent film role, most of us cannot expect to get so lucky pulling such a stunt. I cannot advise this. Blaine purchased beachfront property on an active volcanic island and now he lives in a cave. As a gym leader, and especially as a mafia boss, Giovanni is doing very well for himself. He is fabulously wealthy, and he seems to get most of the things he wants. However, career criminals are never truly happy. Those who build their fortunes in blood do not have friends, love, or peace. They are never satisfied, they are never comfortable. Look around at the richest and most powerful men in our society today. They are paranoid, hateful, and utterly miserable dictators. So while Giovanni is very effective at what he does is wrong for the world and even for himself. Bottom tier life choices. Our last group of trainers for Kanto is the Elite Four. To keep afloat in the off-season, Lorelei leverages her position in the Indigo League as a tutor. She does weekly exhibition matches and gives an annual lecture, selling the tapes for $18.95. That's $35 adjusting for inflation, and the system itself is already $4.50. Lorelei, you're bleeding us dry! But to make a living off of so little work, clearly she's doing something right. Or this sexy librarian's tapes are about more than just Pokemon battles. Either way, girl, you are using what you got and living the good life. Actually, since we need to use the anime for extra lore here, girl's kinda coked out of her mind.
Let's have a battle!
This must be one of the most beautiful places in the world.
Who cares? Let's battle!
Feel the salt air on your face.
Come on, let's go!
The sea and the sky.
That will unfortunately cost her a couple of tears. As we all know, you can't become a master trainer if you do drugs. Bruno does even less. All we know is that he sometimes visits other dojos and a spa, but Bruno doesn't want more. Bruno is unbothered, moisturized, happy, in his lane, focused, flourishing. Except in the anime, he's just stupid and his secret is to simply catch strong Pokemon. Wow, Bruno is the only trainer who's in the middle tier for actually being average. Everyone else is here for being on the edge of a potentially tragic mental breakdown. Agatha used to be rivals with Oak, falling for him, but then falling out when he decided to pursue academics instead of battling. She's never quite gotten over this. With her short temper, she's doubled down on Pokemon training forever to become the oldest and most bitter Elite Four member of all. Trapped in the deep spiral of the sunk cost fallacy, Agatha wasted her entire life thirsting after one boy. Girl, if you need to let off steam that badly, just hop on Grindr and call it a night. Last but not least, Lance. Lance's only personality trait is that he is a dragon-type specialist in a region with only one dragon, which is really more of a Neopet. Sure, he's a celebrity battler now, but with a team of 3 of the same Pokemon, that act is wearing thin. Other champions are up in Rose Tower signing media deals, while Lance appears to have nothing to fall back on once the audience quickly tires of him. Also, honey, what are you wearing? What is your hair doing? Your future ain't the only thing you haven't glanced at in weeks. Congrats on becoming champion, but pass. With that, our Kanto tier list is complete. Clearly, being good at Pokemon does not translate to being good at life. Clearly. Would you have ranked any of these trainers differently? Or did I miss anyone? Argue in the comments. I've always been interested in how the Pokemon world works outside of League battling, so if y'all enjoy this video, I'd love to make it my next Pokemon series, now that I'm running low on fashion choices to critique. I will get to playing Gen 9 eventually! The wait is ruining me! When that guy ran out on Misty, it's because she just mentioned that she hadn't played Gen 9 yet, so 1 like equals 1 hour sooner that I finally get to journey to Paldea and rejoin civil society.